Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Kunana. Tonight's topic, very interesting, homeschooling, and very appropriate because it's now back to school season for many students and parents around. So we've said goodbye temporarily to Ana Quintanar and Lani Versosa. Says Nita Pan is still here, but she's joined by two lovely ladies, also homeschool advocates and homeschooler parents, Melody Dino and Bianca Lim. Melody, Bianca, welcome to Philippines Uncut.
Thank you.
Yes. Quick introductions, starting with Melody.
I'm presently a part-time teacher in a school. I'm teaching grade schooler.
Okay.
And I'm homeschooling my son. He's in
Interesting.
grade 2 right now.
Interesting that you're a teacher and you also homeschool. Bianca.
Yeah, I'm working full time in a BPO in company right now, and I have 3 kids, and I've been homeschooling for 5 years now.
Interesting. And how many years have you been homeschooling? 2 years.
2
2 and
years.
5. All right. 2, 5, and then you
3.
have been 2, 3, and 5. Excellent. Nice mix. Okay. Let's start with this. What got you ladies into homeschooling? Now, you, Melody, very interesting because you're a teacher. You actually teach.
Yes.
You are currently teaching, and yet you choose to homeschool your kids. Why? Help me understand, please.
I believe that God impressed in my heart to homeschool my child.
Yeah.
And also I think that I want, and my husband, we want our child to grow up with values, to instill the values. Parang yun yung talagang priority.
Oh,
na.
pero teacher ka rin. So,
Yes.
parang is it kind of like an irony na you're a teacher and yet, you know, your own
Yeah.
children, you're not putting in through the system that you are a part of.
Yes.
So, no, because I'm sure you're a good teacher and that you are instilling the values that you would like
Yes.
to in your own students.
Yes.
So, why the divergence, so to speak?
Isa pa siguro is
Oh.
yung influences of
Okay.
peers. Like
Alright.
that. Yeah. My son was in school for 2 years and I've seen the difference. Yeah.
Yes. I think you said influence of peers in school, the
Yeah.
environment. that kind
Yeah,
of
the
thing.
environment.
Okay. Now, ikaw naman, Bianca, you are a
Yeah.
full-time employee. I mean,
I'm still am, yeah.
You work full-time. How do you
Yes.
make it work? Because with the previous 2 ladies who were here, they are really stay-at-home moms,
Yeah.
housewives, and they have time. Yeah. So I understand that, you know, for homeschooling to work, you have to devote a lot of time to it
Yes.
personally. It's not like you can sending kids to a school. It's like outsourcing education.
Yes.
That's
We're basically
right.
outsourcing it.
Outsourcing, yeah.
But when it comes down to it, if you want to homeschool your kid, you have to take a hands-on approach to your child's education. How do you do it?
Well, definitely it's not a walk in the park. If
I can imagine. Yeah.
if I can have 48 hours in a day, I would
An extra 24, yeah.
Yeah. But we only have 24, so I adjust it I only sleep less than the average people. So
Yeah. My question is, where do you find time to homeschool your kids if you're working full time and then of course it's not like there's also the commute from home to work and back and all
Yeah.
that. How much time do you devote to homeschooling?
homeschooling, we usually study for 4 hours a day.
Alright.
30 minutes per subject is
Okay.
enough. Fortunately, I'm in the BPO industry, so I work at nights. So commute is not really a problem because there's no heavy
Yes,
traffic
yes,
or things like that. And so I work at around 8 or 9 in the evening, and then I go home around 6. So I sleep a little, so around 4 hours a day. I wake up around 10, and then I feed them.
It's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah.
And a lot of commitment, right?
Yes,
Because,
yes.
I mean, you're a traditional stay-at-home mom,
Yes,
homeschooler,
yes.
and yours is really the ideal model, no? Where one or both of the parents has enough time to devote
Yes.
to teaching the kids.
Yes.
But in your case, and you're making it work, you are actually full-time employee, regardless if it's BPO, because you're just
Yeah.
working the other side of the clock,
Yes.
True.
you know, at night. But then you cut back on the
Sleep.
time you have for your own rest. So this is a
Yes.
lot of commitment and dedication and sacrifice. I would
Yes.
say.
So what I do is I make sure that every minute I spend with them, I make sure that we are learning something. So I have an outline of their lessons. And for example, we're just eating. So I'm talking to them about the history lesson for the day. So whenever we go on shopping, grocery shopping, I teach them math. I ask them how much is this, and if we pay for this product for 10 pesos, what's the change? Things like that.
So,
So
like
I
the two ladies
incorporate
here earlier, you've made homeschooling, you've made the education of the children part of really a whole, the household,
Yes.
your entire house is an education process.
Yes.
How about you? Because Melody, you said that you are a part-time teacher.
Yes.
When do you find time for your kids for homeschooling them?
Every day we study in the morning,
Okay.
except I report to school 3 times a week.
Okay, so if at
Then,
least it's
yeah.
more
Yes,
flexible. It's not as heavy as
Yes.
as Bianca's
Bianca.
work.
So when I go to school, I just leave assignments to him, or sometimes I bring him to school,
Yeah.
and then he stays in the faculty room and he does his assignments.
Now, do you ladies also follow, like in the case of SES, modules as well, given by a
Yeah.
provider?
Yes.
So you're not one of those independent
Homeschoolers.
homeschoolers. You follow a
Yes, certain.
pattern, a
Yes, we have a
system of
curriculum. Yeah.
modules.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. Now, question for you ladies. Are you ladies sometimes worried? Does it ever cross your mind? You know, especially, I'm sure, okay, let's put it this way. When you talk to your peers, when you talk to friends, when you meet people, they ask about your kids, and you say, I'm homeschooling my kids. What is their first reaction?
How's his socialization?
Yeah, there you
Wala
go, there
siyang
you go.
classmates.
Kawawa
There
naman
you go,
siya.
Yeah.
Kawawa naman sila. Lagi nasa
Hindi ka nang
bahay.
kawawa.
Yeah.
Oh, kawawa.
Yes,
Yes.
kawawa. Laging nasa bahay.
Oo.
It's like that.
Ano yung reaction ninyo? Sige, ikaw
Me?
muna.
I tell them no. He's very much socialized. He has a group of friends from his homeschool group, and so they meet once a week. And then we bring him to business functions of his dad. So he goes to his dad's meetings and all that stuff. So he gets to socialize with the big ones and the small ones
I
as
think
well.
it seems like a pattern, no? It seems like for homeschoolers, their milieu basically is not confined to people or kids their own age. But it seems that there is a lot of interaction up and down.
Yes.
Yes.
No? How about you, ladies, Melody and Bianca? How do you make sure that your kids are getting the proper socialization, which is very important in any child's
True,
upbringing? You know?
With me, we have our co-op. Every week we meet, and then he has Sunday schools, and we bring our son to work. So he also talks to the adults.
Yes, yes. But you, Bianca?
Yeah, same as Melody. We actually go to school 2 times a week. So Saturday, Sunday, we're at school. They have a program during Saturdays and Sundays. They have Sunday school, and
Sunday school.
yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, no?
teach them the Bible.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
school as in Sunday school
Yeah.
as in church school.
Yes.
I thought you, it's like for math. On Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a good right? Okay. Continue.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
have the COP every week too. And our house is also an office, so they regularly meet people, adults. So they get to speak to them, they get to interview them.
You know, ladies, okay, when it comes to homeschooling, it sounds very ideal because, you know, you cut down on cost, for instance, and also transport. Like these days in Manila, you know, you send a child to school, and the child maybe is on the road 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, say
that's
if you live in Marikina and you send your kids to Makati or vice versa, then I mean the traffic alone will kill you. It will
Yes.
sap the strength of the child, etc., etc. So homeschooling does sound like a very nice alternative to traditional schooling for many people, but there still is a lot of resistance from people when you say homeschooling. And I'll be very frank with you. When people say, "Oh, homeschooling kids," it's like, you know, it's like there is that stigma that these kids are not being brought up. Let's put it
The normal way.
the normal way. I mean, I hate to say it, but
Yes.
you said the normal way.
Yeah.
Or that fear of parents that maybe their kids are not receiving, you know, the right
Enough.
education.
Yes.
That a full-time teacher, you know, who's with them can really focus. Blah 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 blah. How do you ladies deal with that? What is your reaction to that kind of thinking? You first.
Okay. Well, personally, we believe that as parents, you really want the best for your kids.
Sure.
So, as Christians, we also believe that the moment you became a parent, you were also entitled by God to become the first educator of your children. So, we are no different from the teachers there. Yes, they may be professional, but we have God to back us up because we believe that if God put this in your heart, He will give you a means
Yeah.
to carry this out.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm sure most of homeschoolers hold on to the fact that we're not alone. We're not physically alone, but we have a big God out there who would really supplement all our needs in homeschooling.
Yes. But I mean, removing the spiritual and, let's say, religious aspect from
Yes.
it, how do you ladies, deal with that stigma, that fear? How did you get over that? Maybe, because I'm sure that you ladies weren't homeschooled, right?
Yes.
Our generation,
Yes.
me maybe a bit older, we went to the regular schools though.
Yes.
How did you get over that? That and decide that this is the right thing for my child, and this is the best thing for my child. How did you come up with that decision?
For me, I think you need to pray about it first. And then, homeschooling is really intentional parenting.
Intentional
Yeah,
parenting.
intentional parenting. You really have to give up a lot of things. And at the same time, what is your stand or your values in life? So if some people are against, yun, they have a stigma like, nako, kawawa yung mga kids about parang bakit sila homeschooled or what.
Did you
right?
have that initially before you went to homeschooling?
No.
You never had that fear,
No,
that apprehension?
I was amazed when I see yung adults that were homeschooled. They are very confident. They are very equipped.
You ladies are brave, huh? How about you, Bianca?
So
Did you ever have that doubt when you came at a crossroads and you said, okay, homeschooling, regular school? Did you ever have that doubt in your mind that maybe homeschooling, maybe it's not the best thing? Did you ever have that doubt? Never.
Never,
So,
not
wow.
really. So the providers actually conduct seminars
Yeah.
on how to do the homeschooling per se.
Yes, yes.
So you really have to study and learn more, research
Yes.
more on.
How deep or how much support does the provider give? Because it's very important, because this is a journey, no? A journey you're taking with your children.
Yes.
And it's nice to have a guide, because like any journey can be here to Ilocos, right? But if you have no roadmap and there are no roads, right,
Yes.
it's important to have a guide. So how close or how much support do you get from the providers?
They provide academic consultant
Okay,
for each family.
all right.
And then you can text them or call them anytime.
Yes.
Yes. And then you can, every quarter, you meet with them and they assess your child. You bring everything.
Tests,
Yes,
some
the
tests.
tests. Yes.
Portfolios.
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 Yes, but it depends also on your provider because not every provider
Yes.
gives that kind of support. But they do give support. Like certain providers would give you like to talk na support. Others naman medyo at a
Laid
certain distance lang. Like you call them up if you have questions. But others are more strict with the schedules and the deadlines. So
Have you
it's-
ever, talking about tests, have you ever, had your kids take tests and kind of see how they rank vis-a-vis or against their peers, in comparison to their peers who are going to regular schools? Have you ladies done that? And how do they perform? How do your kids perform in these tests, if you have had them take these tests?
No, we haven't, but we do have a yearly assessment.
Yeah.
Yung
From the homeschool provider.
Yeah.
So they tell us where the kids are.
Yes.
So on each subject, so they measure the kids on the mean of the across homeschoolers and other kids.
Is there anything, let's say, Melody, you are both a teacher in a regular school and homeschooler. Is there anything in the homeschooling system, coming from your background, where you're exposed to regular school, that you would like to see, or in a homeschooling system that is not there? Let's say, is there anything lacking in the homeschooling system that is present in the, let's say any vital area of concern, or say any vital factor that is in a traditional school that you would like to see in the homeschooling system? Is there any?
Can it be vice versa?
Sure.
Actually, when I homeschooled my son,
Yeah.
I was able to see his parang needs, right? For example, kasi if you're a teacher, you have 20 kids in the class.
At least, could even be more, no?
Or
35,
may mga iba
40,
40, yeah.
Oh.
And sometimes, pagka nagturo ka, it's very general. But when you homeschool your kid, you can see yung ano yung mga needs niya and what are the things that you can still help him improve.
Yes. Kumbaga, personalized. And
Yes.
you assess the boy or the girl very closely mas natututukan, di ba?
Yes.
Yes.
And you can proceed faster kung
Yes.
kailangan. Or if you want, if you need to pull back a little bit and make
Yes.
the boy catch up or the girl catch up,
Yes.
posible.
Yes.
Unlike before, when we were going to school,
Yes.
if you couldn't keep up with the crowd,
Yes.
F ka. or
Yes.
whatever.
Get a tutor.
Yeah.
Or get a
Yeah.
tutor like that. Interesting. So ladies, we have to pause for another break, but we're gonna meet some homeschool kids in a while. It'll be the first time to do this. New children, only solo children on the set, but I'm sure it'll be a very nice experience. So let's see how these homeschool kids of yours can stand up on camera. Guys, stay tuned because more of Is Homeschooling for You when Philippines Uncut returns.